Hello and welcome back to our little Formula 1 season 2012 in Automobilista 2 in virtual reality. We're here for the British Grand Prix in Silverstone. Today we'll be competing as local hero Lewis Hamilton, who is looking for success in his home race after finishing second in Montreal after starting from pole there. Today he'll go into this race only from P6, so winning might be a tough ask. But you can overtake and race very well around this track. So we should be in for a treat. Let's look at the rest of the starting grid before we start this 26 lap race around this historic circuit. And for the second time this season it will be Kimi Räikkönen starting from pole position ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who starts from P2. Then it is Alonso, Button, Romain Grosjean, strong qualifying from the Frenchman, starting from P5. Ourselves, Lewis Hamilton in 6th. And then it is Mark Webber, Pastor Maldonado, Nico Rosberg and Sergio Perez. In 11th we see Michael Schumacher, Kamui Kobayashi in 12th. And then it is Massa Hülkenberg, Paul Di Resta, Jean-Eric Vergne, Bruno Senna and Daniel Ricciardo. And on the final row of the grid, Petrov finally beating Kovalainen in qualifying for the first time. And here we are in our grid position in P6 for the British Grand Prix 2012, and it is lights out and away we go. And Lewis Hamilton gets a good start. We are already past Romain Grosjean ahead of turn 1 here and almost going side by side with our teammate Jenson Button into the first corner and now into Village for the first time. This is quite of a good overtaking opportunity on the opening lap, but we don't manage to break alongside our teammate. And now for the first time onto the Wellington Straight, which will from lap 3 on be one of the two DRS straights, the other one of course being the Hangar Straight, which is probably the best overtaking opportunity. Now on or through Luffield and on towards the old Pit Straight, which was here. And Jenson Button already kind of building a gap towards us, so on the first lap we are not quite able to stay with him. Through Copse we run a little bit wide. And now through the S's for the very first time. And just ahead you can see that there is quite an intense battle for the lead right now. Sebastian Vettel looking to make it past Kimi Räikkönen, who is still leading this race. And Alonso looking to slip through these two while they're fighting as well. As we almost have completed this first lap. And we see Vettel and Räikkönen going side by side. Now it's Vettel around the outside. And this might just work. Final corner. And as we can see, Vettel is now ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and Fernando Alonso, who is still looming behind them. Waiting for something to go wrong to slip through. But not so far. Vettel made it past cleanly. The rest of the top 10 you can see on the bottom of your screen right now. And now Vettel will be trying to build a gap towards the cars behind him, towards Kimi Räikkönen. So that he has quite of an advantage going into this race. But Alonso already trying to make it past the Lotus. But he isn't able to do it right now, as we are still chasing our teammate. Going into lap 3, DRS is now activated, and we might be able to use it now on our teammate, but I think he's still close enough to Alonso so that he can use it as well. But we get the better exit out of Aintree and now into Brooklands. We break alongside, he's still on our outside, but we make it past. And are now up into P4. And ahead of us, Vettel didn't manage to build a gap towards Räikkönen and Alonso, which means that they are now able to use DRS against him on the Wellington Straight and on the Hangar Straight. So he might need to be careful. There are cars going side by side once again. I think this is Alonso trying to make it past Räikkönen through the S's. Really brave from him. And now they're very close. And look at that. I think they're going three wide into Stowe. And it might be, yes, Alonso has taken the lead of this race. He made it past two cars on the Hangar Straight and is now leading this race. And now look, Raikkonen is trying to make it past Vettel as well, which looks quite good right now, but I think Vettel is still ahead now going into lap 4. What an exciting battle just ahead of us. But right now we can't really take an advantage of that, what is happening ahead, because they are still going very, very fast. It's hard for us to close up. Maybe right now, I don't think we are in DRS range here to make this three-way battle a four-way battle. And this is really what was so great about this 2012 season. It is now pretty much 4 manufacturers fighting for the race win here. This is what was so great about this season. As we are now coming up towards the better overtaking spots of this track, where Vettel is looking down the inside of Alonso. He backs out of it and does well so. We run a little bit wide here after Cobs and even receive a track limit warning. Not ideal, as they are still ferociously battling ahead. Now onto the DRS straight here. Wow! Oh, and we opened DRS a little too early and almost lose the car. And ahead, I think Vettel is alongside and past Alonso once again. So it's Sebastian Vettel now, once again leading this race ahead of Fernando Alonso. And Kimi Raikkonen still close to these two as he is trying to find a way past Alonso. Doesn't work so far, as we're still behind them and enjoying what is happening ahead. But, well, we should be able to get a little bit closer now to see better what's happening ahead and to maybe get involved into this race battle for the race lead as well. But now we're for the first time in DRS range of Raikkonen, who lost a bit of time through Abbey and Farm curves somehow. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he had a little bit of a tank slapper there. But we might be able to make a first attempt on the hangar straight now if we get a good exit out of Cobbs, which we do. Oh, we're even getting quite of a run on him, but not wise to go side by side through the S's. I mean, Alonso tried it a couple of laps earlier and then overtook both cars ahead of him on the hangar straight. And now with DRS, Raikkonen doesn't have DRS anymore, so it's pretty much sailing past the Lotus to now chase Vettel and Alonso, who are still battling ahead of us. But Raikkonen's still there. But I think we get the better exit out of the final corner here. Well, and a couple of laps later in this race, Raikkonen has unfortunately pretty much disappeared out of this fight for the race win. But we're able to keep up with these two, and as long as they are battling, this might be our chance to get even closer. Pace-wise, we are pretty much on the same level as the Red Bull and the Ferrari ahead. Alonso has now tried it on the hangar straight for a couple of laps in a row, but I think he might try it elsewhere, which he is right now, as Vettel runs a little bit wide and touches the gravel with his left tires, and Alonso made it past, but Vettel still with a good run on him on the old pit straight into Cobb's corner they go, but oh, Alonso a little bit too much on the inside as he touched with the wall there. Let's hope his car is fine. Maybe some damage on the suspension, but for now it looks like he's still able to go with Vettel ahead of him. And now he has DRS once again. We didn't get a good exit out of these corners here, but we still get a good run as we saved our curse boost for the hangar straight. And now it is really a three-way battle, as we are now in touching distance with these two ahead. And there is the first car approaching, the first lapped car approaching. which is a Caterham, unsurprisingly. They are really a lot off the pace. As we're getting a good run on Alonso, Vettel just made it past the Caterham and he lets us and Alonso by as well. We backed out of that move. We might be able to try it there. We might have been able to try there. But yeah, we didn't risk it with the Caterham being involved in this situation as well. So we are still behind the Spaniard that is still going pretty quickly, despite that impact he had with the wall there, which cost him the race lead. And now we get a good run on him on the old pit straight. And we choose the inside line, using a little bit of curves, and we make it past ahead of Cobb's corner. And we don't steer into the wall just like he did a lap earlier. And then now setting after Sebastian Vettel, and we are in DRS range, and it looks very, very good for us, so that we might be able to force an attack on the hangar straight, which looks very, very good with DRS. Vettel obviously without any, and we make it past on the hangar straight, and are now leading this race. As we see Vettel diving into the pits, so he is trying to instantly undercut us, so the pit window is now open as well. And 2 laps after we passed Vettel and he dived into the pits afterwards, we are now coming in for our pit stop as well. Just changing onto fresh tires, obviously refueling. Not allowed anymore in 2012. 2009, the last season, where refueling was allowed. And now for a tire change. But oh no, what are they doing? This is a very, very, very slow pit stop. They're really taking their time to change our tires. And now there's another car holding us up in the pit lanes. Oh, this is even our teammate. And what a slow pit stop. 15.7 seconds. This has cost us dearly. 5 seconds or something. This should be the normal pit window. So we lost about 10 seconds here and dropped behind Romain Grosjean. So we are now running in P6 behind the second Lotus. And Vettel obviously miles ahead now. So the undercut did work. And it did even work better than they hoped it would be, as our pit crew cost us the race lead. And now we have to make it past Grosjean as well, who is, wow, letting us starve around the outside. And really doesn't leave us any space there, but that's fine. We weren't nearly as much alongside, so that he needed to give us space. So absolutely fine what he did there. The only question is, does this make sense for him? Because we are on much fresher tires. Grosjean obviously hasn't stopped yet. And who is trying to score his first points of the season here. So maybe it would be wiser for him to just get out of the way. As we are now using DRS to make it past him easily. He's still there, but now he backs out of it. And I think that is much wiser. And ahead of us, I can already tell you that Fernando Alonso, who was then struggling after Vettel pitted to keep up with us, he is now in the pits. So I think he might even have taken some slight damage. But as we can see right now, Raikkonen and Webber leading this race without any pit stops, so Vettel still virtually in the race lead. And this is Fernando Alonso just coming out of the pits ahead of us there. So we even lost a spot to the Ferrari due to our very, very slow pit stop. And now we are looking to make it past the Ferrari as quick as we can, so that we don't lose too much time, because we haven't given up on the race win yet. We know that our pace was very strong and is looking very strong right now. Look how much faster than Alonso we are. We are already along right on his gearbox. But, of course, he is on the colder tires as he just came out of the pit lane. And on the old pit straight once again. This time we choose the outside line. And we are passed ahead of Cobb's corner once again. We know this is a risky spot to make a move. But as long as you're ahead going into the corner, you are fine. Now through the S's. And let's look if Alonso is able to do a counter-attack on us on the second DRS straight, which he isn't. We have 5 laps from the end right now, and we actually caught up to Sebastian Vettel, who is just ahead of us here. 5 laps to go, including this one, to make it past the German in his Red Bull. And we are, for the first time, in his DRS range, so we can open the rear wing and try to gain a lot of time on him ahead of us. Of course, it says battle for second on the top left corner, as Kimi Räikkönen still hasn't made his pit stop. Don't know what the strategy is for them, but he is still leading this race, but he will definitely drop behind us. You can already see him. He's the car ahead there on the old pit straight, as we are now really close, really close to Vettel. And there's another lapped car in our way. Another Caterham, but he moves to the side very well, so not too much time lost, though I think Vettel got it slightly better. So we aren't able to attack Vettel here, going into Stowe corner. But maybe on the next lap. Another intense battle this time here in the closing stages of this race. 4 laps to go now. Räikkönen still not made his pit stop, as we are now just behind him. Maybe this time on the Wellington straight. Is Vettel maybe even in the DRS range of the car ahead? I don't think so, but he gets the better exit definitely, so no attack possible here. We have to wait once again, probably for hangar straight. Maybe, oh no, he doesn't get the best of exits out of Brooklyn, sorry. So we are alongside going through Lovefield, looking for the better exit, which we didn't get. Saving our curse for the hangar straight, as this is our best opportunity. Räikkönen now really just ahead of us. He is lapping Pastor Maldonado, who is now blocking ourselves and Vettel in the S's, which isn't a fine thing to do, but then again it's Maldonado, so that's just what Maldonado does. And now this looks like a good opportunity for us. Vettel chooses the left side to make it past Maldonado. We choose the right side, and we are ahead of Vettel. This is almost like Häkkinen's overtake on Schumacher in Spa in the year 2000, as Räikkönen now finally made it into the pits. And we are leading this race once again, but Vettel is still very close. We are defending the inside line into turn 1. No chance so far for him. Is he trying to do a dive bomb into Village? No, he's not. I think he is waiting for the Wellington straight to use DRS and try to make a move against us into Brooklands. So we are using a little bit of curves right now, but not too much, because we also have to defend on the hangar straight. So we have to keep that in mind, as Vettel is alongside and past us round the outside. We are a little early on the brakes and now looking to get a better exit out of left fields, or if we don't do so, to make a move on hangar straight once again, but we get a much better exit out of left field, so we are past the Red Bull once again and take the lead of this race for the 3rd time now. And we get a good exit out of Copse as well. Now, very crucial, the S's. We need to get a good run through these corners here to kind of build a gap to Vettel on the hangar straight. He will be able to use DRS, but we get a very good exit. So he is not close enough. I don't think he's close enough, so we live to fight another day here after Stowe. And we jump into the last lap of this race. Just club corner here to go. Vettel wasn't able to attack us once more. And we win the British Grand Prix after a great battle with Sebastian Vettel. And here are the final results of this race. Lewis Hamilton wins ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Jenson Button, very great result for the McLaren team and for the British fans as well. So 2 British drivers on the podium here. Mark Webber finishes 4th. Alonso dropped down to 5th, so he must have had an issue after making contact with the wall. Kimi Räikkönen down in 6th, though that strategy with the very late pit stop didn't work at all. Rosberg finishes 7th. Once again, Grosjean finally scoring the first points of his season in 8th, and then it is Massa and Perez for the final point scoring positions. And talking about points, let's look at the Drivers' Championship as well. Vettel now with 61 points, still leading the Drivers' Championship. Hamilton moves up into P2 after his race win here. Alonso is sitting in 3rd, and then it is Button, Schumacher dropping down to 5th. Rosberg, Webber, Räikkönen, Kobayashi and Perez, both Sauber still in the top 10, so great season continues for them. On the second page we see Massa, Grosjean now making it up to 12th after scoring 4 points today, and Daniel Ricciardo the final point scorer in P13. And for the Constructors' Championship it is a lot closer here, as Red Bull are still leading with 85 points, but McLaren are very close now with this great result today. Sitting on 78 points. Then it is Mercedes now dropping down to 3rd with 49. Then it is Ferrari with 47. Lotus in 5th. Sauber drops to 6th. And Toro Rosso, the final team who have scored points. And that has been it for the 2012 British Grand Prix. Thank you ever so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to not miss any videos on this channel. The next race will be the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring, so really subscribe to not miss that, and I hope to see you all the next time. Goodbye.